relationships in China date back to the mid-1980s. Our business expansion really began in earnest in 1993. Today we have over 10,000 employees working in China, in 18 manufacturing plants, 4 world-class R&D centers, and over 60 sales offices. And the vast majority of what we produce in China stays in China. The economy is growing so quickly we're having a hard time keeping up with that pace. Now, many of you have read in the news that during these last 9 months, the Chinese economy is slow, much like the economy we've seen around the world. But we remain quite bullish on the long-term prospects for growth in China. It's estimated that 300 million people will move to a city in the next 40 years in China. 300 million. This migration has never before been witnessed or accomplished, but it's necessitating a refresh of every major and small city throughout China. The new middle class wants much the same as the middle class wants in the United States. A home, a car, help in educating children, access to health care, and a great place to live with great interconnected public spaces. But the Chinese economy looks quite different than our own economy. Think about a couple of these numbers. The investment component of GDP in China is 49%. Here in the U.S., it's 20%. It's a growing economy. And this will continue. Think about a couple facts out of the current 5-year plan. The public housing element of the 12th fifth-year plan, that's what we're in right now, is simply staggering. 10 million new units in 2011. 10 million new units in 2012. 16 million units in 2013, 14, and 15. Totaling 36 million units of public housing to be built in the next 5 years. So are the investments in competitive infrastructure, a real message for us in our own country. The road network bill. The 5-year plan calls for 16 new major freeways and expressways. These are federal level. 90% of all villages are to be accessible to motor vehicles by 2015. In railroads, 110,000 kilometers of new railroad by 2012. Another 120,000 kilometers on top of that by 2015, including 16,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. Agriculture. Still a very big part of the country's GDP, 10% compared to just under 1% in the United States. An enormous opportunity for productivity and for firms like our firms and so many others to bring those productivity tools to the country. Manufacturing. 34% of GDP is manufacturing in China, compared to 13% in the U.S. And that now makes China the largest manufacturing economy in the world, at a time when the economy is still a fraction of the U.S. overall economy. And that brings us to the last point the government is working upon. And that's working hard to increase domestic spending, that consumer portion of the economy. And I think there are reasons to be optimistic that they'll achieve that goal as well.